Hey y'all, my name's Bryce and welcome back to some more PowerWash Simulator 2! Now, you may be like, Bryce, what do you mean coming back? What do you mean, why are you coming back? What do you mean? Well, I am partway through the game already. I've completed a few levels because Ash and I actually played a little bit of this co-op. So earlier today, an episode will have gone out on the main channel, youtube.com/stumpedgamers, where Ash and I play through the tutorial and the first few zones in order to play some of this game. So now I'm going to be continuing from where Ash and I left off. So anyway, if you want to see this game from the beginning, I would suggest go over there, watch that episode, and then come back over here and watch this one. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's go to the Art Deco house. Okay. Ooh, fancy. Let's start the job. Okay. Boy, oh boy. Ooh, we've got our, look at this. Let's see how this works. Raise the scissor lift. How high up can we go? Well, that's awesome. So I can use that to get up onto that floor, actually. And then we have this guy. We're used to this guy. I wonder if we can customize the color of these. That'd be fun. Because I could customize my costume. Okay. Well, let's figure out how we're going to approach this. I think with these ladders, you know, I can get them up like that. But it seems like it'd be fun to use this guy. Just cuz, you know? So let's screw around with this for a little bit. So I think I'm going to not use soap until I really feel like I have to. Okay, we got that extender. How's that look for cleaning at the distance? So that works. So this nozzle doesn't reach that far. I'm just wondering, okay, I need to get on there to clean this. Okay. So, oh, you know what? I bet I could, from up there, bring a ladder to put the ladder on there. Let me try that. Oh. Pick up. Oh, I could hold on. I forgot. I can actually probably, yeah, just carry it up like that. Place. Do I have a third one? No? But I guess I could pick that one back up. Oh, but from here, I cannot. I can't. Okay. But this guy worked. So we'll just use this guy to get me up there. I think, oh, there's so many of these ladders. My goodness. Yeah, I guess I do want a third one up there, don't I? Yeah, let's do that. I wasn't able to reach it from all the way up there, so I need to bring it down here, and then we'll do this thing again, and then hopefully I can place it, yeah, right there. Okay, now I can get all the way to the top. So let's place you down so that I can once again use you to jump up there, because it seems like unless I bring one of the smaller ladders up here as well, I think I need to do that. Okay, let's head to the top. Let's see what we're working with. This is a pretty gross looking place. So we're just going to get to it. All right. How's the white one do? Let me check which one am I using? Okay, I'm using the 2400. I have the second tier of the, you know what? Let me do this real quick. Because I think that this is one of those things. Water volume. Let's lower that a little bit. It just gets so loud, right? And I'm actually even going to turn the tone a little bit more bassy. And we'll turn the reverb down a little bit too. So, yeah, that's a little bit nicer. A little more pleasant. It can just get very loud. Okay, so we got a little bit of stubbornness of the stains, but we're just going to do a quick pass on the regular one. So, if you watched the other episode, you would know this, but basically in this game, the soap is super overpowered right now. I don't know if they've updated this because I am playing a pre-release build. But basically, if you really wanted to, you could go to every surface that you can reach, spray the soap over it, and then wash it away with even the weakest washer head, and it would do the trick. But to me, it's like I kind of like the kind of peeling away at the dirt kind of situation. So I'm going to play it old school. But there may be times when I bust out the soap and I'm just like, okay, this thing is, going to take forever. But okay, cool. Just clearing this up. So yeah, Ash and I played some of this the other day. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun co-op. It's just a good game for like hanging out with a friend and just kind of chatting and, doing stuff, because it's not like super like you're having to pay a bunch of attention. I wanted to say ton and bunch at the same time. And so it really facilitates having conversations or listening to podcasts or whatever. It's a really good, just like relaxing one. Just like the previous one was, with a silly story, and we have 3 cats living in our base, and now there's this base that we get to decorate. It's just, there's so much. So if you haven't seen that, yeah, I guess beyond just the regular levels like you have, in the previous game, you have your little tablet just like that. And with that tablet, you can buy things and all that. You can go to missions, but also you can go back to your home base. And at the base, you actually clean some furniture so that you can like put it, like decorate with it. And so it's like, if you've ever seen those TikToks or YouTube shorts or whatever that, or reels, I guess as well, where somebody takes like a rug that's like the dirtiest, grossest thing you've ever seen, and then they just like wash the hell out of it with a power washer and a bunch of soap and stuff. You get to do that. So I think that's pretty cool. Just a nice little added mechanic to this game that just like, goes into the expanded usage network of power washers, I guess. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Do. And then I think I'll probably be able to switch to just like the green one or the yellow one. Let's see if the green one will get this. Oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Just a little bit. It's not quite as wide, but that's okay. So yeah, there's that whole mechanic, which is really fun. It's just like a nice little added level of things, and like having the home base and just having a little more personalization and stuff. I think it's always great when a game can add that. So I'm stoked for that and seeing where all that goes. There just like are a bunch more different mission types. There's what Ash called multi-layer missions, or multi-stage or something like that. But basically there are some where you complete one part of it and then like a door will open, or, the one that we did in that episode that you can go watch right now. You can go watch it if you want to. Where it's it's like one of those public restrooms that goes like down into the ground. To get like washed underneath, down in the sewers, down underground. So you clean the top of it, and then it does the thing where it like extends out from the, what do you call it? From the ground, like it raises up, and then from there you clean the outside. And then once you do that, the door opens up and then you clean the inside. So it's like a whole thing, And so I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing where these levels go, knowing that that's going to be a mechanic that we have going in here. Whoa! What the heck is that? That ain't a rainbow. What is going on? I knew these games had like a weird lore to them and stuff. Like the previous one apparently has just got like the wackiest storyline going on the outside. I want to see. So this is Trilobite Lodge. Apologies for how filthy it is. I've just come back from a dig in Alaska to find the house looking like this. My other half, Karen, apparently vanished into thin air. It wouldn't be the first time. Whenever she gets a whiff of anything interesting, that's her. Gone for months. Okay. Nothing there. But we got weird explorations. I'm trying to think of what the other levels were. So there was the dirty bathroom. I don't remember there being anything weird about that level. There was the campground. I saw the gnome there. I can't think of anything else being there. But I wasn't looking for things. But seeing that giant anomaly has me thinking maybe I need to be paying a little more attention. All right. I need to remember, I like using the free aim mode. So if you're on PC, you hit C, and then you will do like what I'm doing here, where it'll lock your camera, and you can still move the camera by reaching the edges, but it just makes it so that you can kind of have a more stable view of what you're doing. And I really like that. I actually think it's a really nice way of being able to do it, because then it's more like I'm moving my cursor around and like scraping off the pieces, you know? So I really like that. And then you hit it again, and then you're done with that. All right, let's get as much of this part done as we can. It looks like it's going to count this whole blue thing as like from top to bottom, I think. Yeah, the central feature fin. Okay, whoa. It's all right. So then let's clear this zone. All right, looks like my green one's going to be the winner here. In a little bit, I'll go and look at what the different gear is that we can get. Oh, because that's right, because Ash showed me one that I wanted to get. That's right. Let me look at it. Go to the shop. Go to washer equipment. I want this guy. Oh, I have it. I bought that. I need these. Insufficient funds. What have I got? I got $26. So I want one of these. This is like a huge sprayer that like is good for doing like big surfaces like that. So this would be perfect here. So I just need $200. That's not too bad. I may even earn that with like inside of this level. And actually, you know what? Let me go to home base. Because with those levels, you always can come back and your progress is like still there. Generally, I'm not doing free play. I'm doing like campaign. I think there may be a piece of furniture or two that I have that I can put down. Oh no, that's right. I have to buy it, don't I? Now that I think about it. Let's look. Furniture. Oh, but they are other things. But will I earn money by cleaning them? It's a different kind of currency. Hold for placement mode. Hit tab. Let's clean this thing. Okay. If I get money for completing these tasks, that's what I'm thinking, is then I can get those washer heads real fast. Because these might count as like little mini tasks, then I earn like, you know, $50 or something. Okay. I'm just gonna, oh, hit Q real quick. Yeah, there we go. See where all those dirty spots are. Cool. Did I earn any money? We're gonna pick it up. Put that away. Escape. Where's my money's at? I did not earn any money. Boo! Alright, well, let's still go ahead and place you down. This stuff is hideous, by the way. Just by the by. And it's too bad that they can't really intersect very well. Like, they cannot, like, cover one another at all. Makes it difficult to place them in, like, a realistic way. Well, let's just go ahead and do this other one real fast. It's really not gonna take very long. And I'm even gonna switch to the soap. Here we go. So as y'all can see, it covers very easily. And what's fun is that it only sticks to dirt. So if you've cleaned an area and then you spray the soap back over it, it won't be there if you've already cleaned that. So the only places it's sticking are places that I need to wash. So what's going to happen then with the soap is that it just makes it so that whatever is underneath this basically gets dissolved. At least that seems to be how it works. It also seems like in this game you have infinite soap. It just eventually, it needs to recharge. I'm not fully sure if that's the thing. Oh, I have the basic head? Oh, look at that! I guess it came with its own thing. That's cool. Oh, but now I'm looking. Look, no, the soap didn't do that. So this thing's just weak. Right? Why is it getting all... Oh, I'm just not close enough. I just wasn't close enough. Okay, cool. Well, okay, so it does this like little extendo thing, so that's how I'm gonna know if it's on there. But neat! Yeah, this is the one that Ash showed me. Seems to me like I probably won't want to do free aim with this though, because it'll probably... The maximum range will make it like a little bit more difficult to use. But it's kind of cool! Yeah, I fully didn't realize that this was a thing. And then Ash, used it last time, and I was like, holy crap. I didn't realize that it came with one of those heads. I thought it came with a normal head. So that's pretty awesome. All right, this guy we will put over here like this. This is the wipe your feet mat. That's what this is. Place. Won't let me place it there? Goodness. The placements. Alright, that's the best I can do. Okay, then let us return to our mission in Mockingham. Access free play from the Memento shelf. Yeah, I don't want to... Are you going to force me to? Oh, I'm in placement mode. That's why. Let me go. Continue job. Okay, I wonder if I will spawn where I was. Nope. But that's fine. Put that there. Oh, this works. Let's do this. Yeah. That gets me to there. Does this one get me even higher up? That one might get me all the way. Just going right up the front might be the way to go. Ah. Yeah, cool. Oh, that's much easier. All right, let's get back to it. So, money-wise, I may earn enough money to get the larger one of those. Oh, I'm realizing. So let's use it. Let's use the thing. This guy. Okay. I'm curious if this is going to be strong enough. Because you can even hear how weak it is. So it's like, even though it does a pretty good job of covering a large area, I don't know if this is really gonna do what I want it to do. Maybe, I don't know. It's interesting how it like extends onto there though, like a little Roomba. Look at that. It's cool. That's technology right there. Okay. It's like it'll kind of go on the side there a little bit. Okay. Well, let's do a little bit of that. Like, it's like, it worked. We'll play around with it. We'll play around with it. Okay. It's like I can't get into, like, the little nooks and crannies, though, is the thing. Like, the regular spray head does a pretty good job. But if I can get one of these that's wider, one of these heads that's wider, then that changes everything. Oh, so yeah, so we earned, like, $3 there. So it's like, I don't know if we're going to, earn enough money to be able to get the thing in this level. But I guess it's less crucial now that I get it. Personally, I love the beam's gentle hum, but I drove Karen to distract. Hold on a second, what? Where can I see these messages? Where can I see these other messages that are being sent? Because they're saying some weird things, and I'm only seeing parts of it, and then I'm like, wait, what? Where can I review my text messages? Tab? No, that's that. I don't know. I'll try and figure that out later, because they're talking about the beam, the gentle hum of the beam. I'd love to read more about that. One thing I would like is an extension for this guy. For the end of it, because I don't think I have one, do I? Yeah, this is my maximum distance that it can go for right now. But I bet I can get an extender. So that'll be another thing. It's nice for this, though, running around this edge here. That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to switch back to this guy. Let's swap on over to... Green was really good. Yeah, green's about the level I need. Yeah, this is just easier. That thing's fun, but it's a little... I don't know. But when I get a bigger nozzle for it, and when I can get a longer extender for it, I do think it'll be good for certain, like, if you're on the ground and there's a wall that you kind of can't reach with the other ones very easily, that, like, you want to do just a big swath with, I bet that once you can make it longer, if you can, I'm assuming you can, that it'd be really good for that. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Okay, get that. So, 'Tis Halloween season, as y'all know, obviously. And I am doing my horror movie watchings and whatnot. And I've, started watching a whole bunch. I've gone back and watched, there's this series of movies that I watched as a kid. Obviously horror movies that I probably shouldn't have been watching at my age, but whatever. You're not my mom. It was this series of movies called the Puppet Master series. And so it's a series of horror films that were like straight to VHS. That's right, pre-DVD, y'all. And then eventually straight to DVD. Where the sort of like a monster movie, sort of like a slasher movie, however you want to describe it, but the villains are these little puppets, like sort of marionette figurine type puppets that they come to life and they are, they're killing people. And so I've started rewatching those, and it's like they're low quality. I don't remember how poor quality they are. They give me the feeling of like a sci-fi original movie, if that makes sense. But from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because these movies came out, the first one came out in like 89 or 90. So it's like, that's, 40 years ago at this point? 40 years ago? It's like, sorry, I'm focused on this now. They're bad. They're cheesy. The acting is a little, mediocre, but it's like 80s and 90s horror, right? That's just kind of how it goes. And so I've been having fun rewatching those. I'm only on the second one right now, and it's just like silly nostalgia. I'd be curious to hear if any of y'all have seen those before. So in order to watch them, I got a subscription to Full Moon Entertainment library on it's a channel on like Amazon or any other streaming service that you can get stuff through, I'm sure. And it's just the whole catalog of the movies that they made way back when I was a kid. And so it's so funny. I was telling Chrissy that there's ones that I'm seeing on there where I saw the trailers for them before I would watch the other movies, because back in the day on the VHSs, y'all, they had movie trailers. They were coming soon to VHS. But I think that was a video cassette. Coming soon to video cassette. Or videotape. And I would see trailers for their other movies, because they would have the trailers for their own other stuff under their production banner. And there's ones where, I remember I was too scared as a kid. I was telling Chris, I was too scared to pick this one up. I couldn't muster up the courage for some of these. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to watch them. But it's so funny because they're so intimidating to me. I look at them and I get that chill down my spine of oh, that's so scary. When I know that it's going to be so cheesy and so bad. It's hilarious. So one of the ones that I did to rip off that Band-Aid was I saw that there was one that was the Puppet Master versus the Demonic Toys. And so the Demonic Toys, that's another series from them, but I never watched that as a kid because it looked a little bit too scary to me. It looked a little bit too violent. Now I'm a big, strong, not afraid-y cat brave boy, right? So because of that, I can totally watch them now. So I watched that one because, like I said, I'm watching the Puppet Master movies. Oh, look, they did a crossover. Let's do it. Man, it was so bad. But, the Demonic Toys are so not scary. They're, cheesy and meant to be funny. One of them is this little baby that's just constantly making, fart jokes. And so it's to think that I was so scared of that as a kid, when really I probably would have found it hilarious. And that's when I realized that, oh yeah, these, they're horror movies. Can I not get back up on this side? I can't. I did on the other side. I guess the other side is just a little bit higher. Anyway, so, clearly they're horror movies. They're R-rated. They're, bloody and violent and all kinds of things. But they were clearly marketed more towards kids or like a younger, you know, group of people. Maybe teenagers, what they were aiming for. But, you know, I was like 5 or 6 and watching this stuff. Many people will say, Price, you probably shouldn't have been watching these as a kid. And again, I will say, you're not my mom. Ooh, looks like we got a job that we can do in order to clean a car, so that might be worth it to try and get some money. But again, at this point, I don't know if I really need the... I'm so torn. I'm so torn on if I want to get the other nozzles for that, the weaker thing. Because it's weaker, right? It just doesn't have as much force as like this guy. So since I bought the higher level of this, I feel like I've made that less useful. Until I buy a higher pressure version of that washer. Okay. I'm gonna need to jump back up top, I think. So run downstairs and then get on the ladder to check the top, just to make sure I got everything up there, since I can't jump back up. Okay. That works pretty well. Okay. Nice. I think I saw some... No? Okay. Cool. Alright, well, let's get this side up here that we can get, and then I'll go jump onto the ladder. So yeah, anyway, it's a funny little thing to be like, to see all these, like, ads and posters and things like that for things that, like, as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I never watched that because I was so scared of it. But, like, you know, as an adult, I just realized, like, the kind of movie that it is and all that. I was watching things like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. I was too scared to watch Hellraiser and Halloween and all those movies. And it's like, those are exponentially more terrifying than the demonic toys. But for some reason, I could not muster up the courage. Maybe it was too real for me. Maybe I didn't want to believe my toys could hurt me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was 5. I don't know. Okay. Does that look clean? It does. Q. Yeah, it's clean. Okay. And there was like a tiny spot there, I think. Okay, we're good. So yeah, so that's mostly, I've been watching those. Been hunting for more found footage movies, always looking for more found footage movies. If you got any suggestions, let me know. Oh gosh, well, time to hop back up. I just rewatched, or I started rewatching, I haven't finished it. I actually got annoyed because it was like, only with ads, and I didn't realize that until I was partial way through, and with ads, I just can't sometimes. I just can't. It's this movie called Butterfly Kisses, which is really interesting, like, take on the found footage genre. Like, at the end of the day, it just feels like a normal found footage movie, all right? But the thing to imagine is that what you are watching is a guy who found the footage, all right? So the footage is found in the universe of the movie. So the guy found the footage and then has decided to make a documentary about making the found footage movie, right? So, like, you know, think about how, like, in the Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity or whatever, it's like, this footage was found and reassembled from blah, blah, blah. This is like, imagine if you were following those people that were making that thing. And so it's like he's going around trying to verify things and trying to, like, make sure that it, like, is authentic and stuff. And people are like, well, it's got to be fake. It's not real. It's like, no, it's found. I found it. It's found footage. It's real found footage. So it's like such an interesting take on it because it's doing the found footage thing. It is a found footage movie. It carries itself out like a found footage movie. It will feel very familiar if you've seen a found footage movie. But it does it with, like, this sort of self-aware but internally consistent, it's not a parody way of approaching it. It's really neat. It's really neat. If you like found footage, it's a good take on that genre. It's very, very neat. Or I guess it's sort of like a mockumentary X found footage. It's great. It's so good. It's so good. It really surprised me the first time I saw it. Okay. I was trying to think, what else have I watched? Okay, come on, get up. All right. I mean, I finally got around to watching Longlegs. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. That's the one with Nick Cage that came out a couple months ago. And pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. Chrissy and I watched the new Conjuring movie. I thought that was pretty good. And I'm just trying to think, what am I kind of working through? Like I said, I want to rewatch all the Puppet Master movies. Maybe I should. I watch the Paranormal Activity movies most years. I really like them. But at the same time, I've only got so much time to watch horror movies. I should watch newer ones. I can't decide if I want to watch even more of those, like I said, those full moon ones that, like, I've never seen before, that are, like, all in that library. So I may spend some time going through those, seeing what's in there. I'm curious if they have the stuff that was actually marketed for kids, actually made for kids, that they made at Full Moon, which was... Oh, gosh, what did they call that one? Because it was another moon-related thing, but it was like, maybe it was like Eclipse or Half Moon. I think it was Half Moon Entertainment. I want to say it was that or something like that. And so that one was for kids. And so it was a bunch of like kids movies. Again, made for TV quality. They never made it into the theaters and like that. Wait, where's the beam gone? Yo, where's the beam gone? The message just said, wait, where's the beam gone? And I saw. Huh. Interesting. What are you saying, Leonard? Hey, something's changed. Okay. I'm trying to pay attention to that when I see it move. Persephone is saying... wasn't that beam keeping the volcano in check? Oh no, the volcano! I knew there was a volcano involved in the first one. That was part of the story. Oh no. I worry. Alright, now they're not saying nothing. Okay. That's not scary. Okay. So, anyway, I'm curious if they have those. There was one that was, I think they were called, it was a series, actually. There might have been two, or there was two, maybe three, called Prehisteria. I think it was Prehisteria. And it's about this kid who finds dinosaur eggs, I think in the attic. I'm not positive. And they hatch into tiny dinosaurs, but they're not like baby dinosaurs. They're just like tiny dinosaurs. Think like The Borrowers or, you know, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something like that. Like, they're just tiny dinosaurs. So it's almost like similar to the Puppet Master thing where it's like these toys come to life. This is like these dinosaur things come to life. And I'm realizing now that maybe this studio was employing a large stop motion team. Maybe that's why they had all these different like small puppet based things, because there's the demonic toys, there's the Puppet Master series, there's a series called Doll Man, which I've not seen any of, but it's about like this like I think noir detective kind of guy who is doll sized. So there's also a Doll Man versus the demonic toys, I think, or something like that. So anyway, all these things, all these silly things, I want to check them out. But Prehisteria, I hope that's on there. I'd love to watch that again. But it's funny that like I don't see or hear a lot of people talking about these movies, which to me is like, it's interesting. Because like maybe it's just because my older brother worked at a video store, so we would rent lots of stuff. Because you know you get it for free, just take it home on the weekends and stuff. So he would get a whole bunch of random stuff, and so I think that like he would just see the covers of these things and be like, all right, I'll bring it home. And so maybe it's just that like we watched a whole bunch of the like really cheap movies from back then, and that's been like something that like I just know of and like other people just don't know about or don't respect the movies. Either way, would fully understand that as well, because they are cheesy, low quality, very B movie-esque. I would still, I would strongly suggest, if it sounds silly to you and you want to watch what will likely feel like a very bad movie, check them out. Check them out. You might be able to find the first one streaming somewhere. The first one I feel like is still not super well known, but is more like considered I think, amongst the horror community to be a horror movie. The other ones get into that, like I said, kind of cheesiness a bit. But yeah, anyway, so that's that. I've also been playing a ton of Ball Pit. Oh my gosh, that game. Let me tell you. Here, let's do the free aim. I am just so into it. They did such a good job of making a game where like you have the main gameplay and then you have the like town building gameplay that still has a component that's just like the other gameplay, right? I have to set up all of my farms and things to make it so that I can launch my guys through them, right? So that they will go and gather up all the resources. And so because of that, it's a lot of fun where it's like in between rounds, like I'll go do a round, it'll be like all intense, just like, oh man, that was just nonstop, whatever. So you get back to town, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna like Tetris up this town. I'm gonna spend some time laying it out so I can take advantage of all the different bonuses and things that I have access to. And you're still doing the same gameplay. It's still Brick Breaker style gameplay, but you're approaching it in a completely different fashion because of the goals. So I find that really, really good. That's really good game design. That's really smart game design, in my opinion, because you're finding a way to almost trick the player into thinking that they're playing a different game. You're playing a town builder. It's like, well, yeah, you are, but you're also still playing the Brick Breaker, because in order to do everything in that town, like you gotta utilize your little guys just like a little puzzle minigame, just like you're doing for the rest of the game. So you have to still be thinking the same types of strategies. How do you line up your geometry and everything? So been having a lot of fun with that. I've gotten very far into it where I'm at the point where I am like trying to perfect my town and like really lay it out. It's great. I should have episodes going out on the channel. They're probably pretty far behind where I'm at now in my file. But after like the next 2 or 3 episodes, that's when I'll get caught up to where I'm at, because there will be a big jump to where my progress is now from where my stream got to before. So I'll probably stream some more of that tomorrow, which, for those of y'all watching this, sadly, is yesterday, because there was an embargo on this game, which is understandable because it's a massive game. And I feel very, very fortunate to have access to it early. The perks of being a streamer, you know? I need to put this down here. Okay. Yeah, very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate to have that privilege. Okay. So what else? So yeah. Ball Pit. Been playing a lot of that. Played through Drain Simulator, the demo for that, which, if you haven't seen it yet, I probably put out an episode of that yesterday, but another water-focused simulator where you're in areas that are essentially flooded, and you have to, like, clear the drains and pump the water out and stuff like that. You're basically like flood response, but you're not flood response because you're just some person who's decided to do it on their own because they've got some equipment. So it's sort of like vigilante plumbing services to save the day during the flood. Anyway, it's kind of silly, but at the end of the day, it is just another one of these simulators where it's like, okay, go and try and clear out the drains, go and pump the water out of this place, go dig a trench, you know? So it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. If you like these kinds of games where like the gameplay is about slowly accomplishing a goal while utilizing a little bit of strategy or planning, I think is nice. I think it's nice. Okay, scrubbing away. All right, there's some marks on here that I'm gonna have to. Oh no! All right, I did enough, so it cleaned the glass. Okay. What other demos did I check out? Because there were a ton. There were so many roguelite, like Vampire Survivor-like games that there were demos of. Oh, no, it was dust in the air that I saw that I thought was on the window. Lot of Vampire Survivor-like games, which I totally dig. Love that style. Love me a Vampire Survivor-like. I'll keep on playing a Survivor-like as long as they keep making them. But what I love is that now we're seeing people kind of play with the genre. Survivor-likes now have become a very common game for smaller indie studios. I think my theory, I've said this many times before, I think it's just that those kinds of games are easier to program. They're like, they've got like a simple backbone, and they're built in a way that like adding new weapons and things like that is essentially adding new mechanics that are like new skills you just learned to program. Not saying that that's how the people are who have made all of these games. Not saying that they're not experienced programmers and everything like that. But I think that that is why we do see it frequently, is that I do think why can I not climb this? That's being weird. Anyway, it feels to me like they're easier to program, and they have that kind of like piecemeal component to them. I'm not going to be able to climb this again, I guess. Let's try it on this one then. There we go. Weird. So, that's my assumption as to why we saw like a big jump in them being a thing. Like, not only was it a trend, but as far as trends go, it's got a simple backbone to it. Let me do that, right? Like, the mechanics are make it so the player can move their character, make a bunch of enemies that can move around, probably start with just an enemy, an object that moves around. You got to set up a hit point system for both the enemies and for the player. You then need to start generating weapons for the player to use. And the thing is player input is so incredibly limited. You don't have to really make it so that the player can do much in terms of buttons and things like that. It's mostly menus. It's mostly a little thing pops up with 3 buttons on it, essentially, that say, which of these do you want to pick? And you click it, and then that applies modifiers to the character that is doing all of the shooting and everything like that on its own. So again, you're taking away a lot of player interaction, and by doing that, you're making a game that's a lot easier to kind of like bug test and control, right? Like the less control the player has, the easier it is, I believe. Again, I've only done a little bit of programming. I've never released a video game. I don't know. So do take all of this with a huge grain of Dunning-Kruger salt. But that's my theory behind it. That's my theory. It doesn't require a lot of overhead, doesn't require a ton of fluff to make it work. Barely even have to have a story, if any. You don't even. You can have a menu, you click on that menu, you click a character, you pop into a game, boom, you're going, right? Anyway, there were several of those games going. Like I was saying, they're messing with the genre. You know, now they're adding new components. They're trying to like really make it so that there's these unique versions of it. I think that's where people are getting into, let's be a little more complex. Let's play with the programming, because the bones of a Survivor-like are so simple that you really can put some pieces on top of it. One of the ones I'm very excited for, I wish there was more to the demo. I wish there was I wish the game was out, called Packmates, I think. And Ash and I played a little bit of it, so there's probably an episode on the channel soon, or is already out, where you are like a woodland critter, that's like an anthropomorphized animal with, like weaponry and stuff. It has alongside it, it's a Survivor-like, so your weapons auto attack, and you got all the different kinds of them that you can get. The gear system is very similar to if you've ever played Brotato, and similar games like that, where you're getting items, and those items can be combined like a merge game in order to make higher quality items. And then on top of that, it has like a backpack battles mechanic. where you've got this limited inventory space. And so the amount of abilities or weapons or whatever that you can have is determined by how well you organize them in your backpack. And do you get things that are complementary in terms of their shape so that you can really maximize that space. So it's a really neat mechanic like that. And then you'll have items where it's like every, weapon next to this gains plus X sharp damage or something. So you're like, oh, okay, I got to arrange my weapons around this thing. And then you can increase the size of your backpack and stuff like that. So it's got this really neat strategic component to it, with which a lot of this you end up trying to do on the fly, which can also be a little bit dangerous, is to try and think about it while you're running around and be like, okay, which one of these do I actually want to grab onto, and blah, blah, blah. You got a lot of inventory space. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. What else? There's one that's sort of Pokemon-y. It's very interesting. I think it was called Squad... I want to say Squad Heroes, but Shard Squad or something like that. Something with shards. And it's sort of like, I guess you could think of it like Temtem, where you pick a sort of like a Pokemon, essentially, a Tem in Temtem, where you are running around doing your survivor-like thing. And then when you get your other abilities, what you're getting is you're actually getting another creature. And they sort of join you. And so you're like making a little like group of characters. And every character has different abilities and things like that. And so, yeah, that's what you're kind of doing. And then you get those abilities from them. And then that's kind of your build. So again, it's adding this like creature collector kind of component to it. That's very interesting, which I like. And I know that's not the first game to do the sort of squad mechanic type thing, but I've never seen it in this kind of a Pokemon style like feel to it. I've seen it more like you're making a like group of warriors or something like that. What else? I'm trying to think. There was a really neat demo that I played. I'm not sure if I'll release... A lot of these demos I recorded, but because of my reformat, there were issues with them. So there's this one like Crystal Tower Defense or something. I'll need to look it up. But a really fun... I would call it like a reverse tower defense when it comes to like the making your maze. So instead of like putting down walls and building a maze up, you're like a little miner guy... And you're going through, digging through the mines, looking for crystals and gems and ores and things like that. And you're being essentially chased by monsters who want to like grab you and throw you into the lava. And so instead of them trying to get to some home base or something like that, they're trying to get to you. And so each turn, essentially, like you have sort of a turn system instead of like a timer system. At the in between rounds, where you dig through the mines. Like you have a certain number of moves or actions that you can use, and so you're like digging through, and that's creating your maze. So you got to think about, okay, how do I want to organize my maze as I dig through here? But the thing is you don't know where all the ores are. You don't know where all the resources are. So as you're digging, you'll find them in order to get them. Oh, okay. It's okay, peeps. Data suggests that all is well on Mount Rushless. No seismic activity whatsoever. Okay. Okay, what's Leonard got to say? Thanks, son. Good to know. Don't be late tonight. Antorius is round. We've got meatloaf. Adorable. All caps, too. Love it. Love it. Oh, gosh. I got so distracted by that there that I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, this tower defense game. So as you're digging through, you'll see, like, oh, there's ores over here. Crap, I don't want to, like, waste this space and dig through these ores. Or, you dig through them and just take the loss, whatever. But here's the other thing, and this is what totally makes it, like, wild to deal with. There's this mechanic of when you find the ores, those are what turn into your towers. And so you get to pick, like, 2 of those, I think, around to keep. And then the walls around those get knocked down, and then you get like resources from those that you can use to combine into like higher quality ones. But because it like knocks down walls around it, it can absolutely ruin your maze if you don't plan around it correctly. So there's a lot of strategy involved. And there's two different game modes. One where it's your traditional tower defense, where it's like you get money and you spend that money on the different types of crystals. But there's a whole other one about like finding the crystals and then gathering up multiples and then using that in order to combine them together in order to make higher quality ones. Very complex, very different system. So I like that they have both mechanically. Anyway, tons of demos, y'all. So many demos. So many. Alrighty. And yet I, of course, frequently find myself playing the same games over and over and over again. It's just, it's comfort. But also, new games can be a commitment, man. It's a shame. It's like, that's why I haven't played Clair Obscur, is I don't feel like I have the time to put in to, like, invest those hours and, like, mostly the attention. Like, I know that I'm going to want to pay attention to it, and it's like, I don't know if I've got it. I use up all that attention doing other things. The ADHD, the resources, they've become more limited as I have aged. Because of that, there's a lot of games that I haven't even tried to start, which is too bad. And then the other part is that, like, games come out and they're too expensive and all that, but Clair Obscur I had even downloaded, because back when I had Game Pass, we don't have it anymore. And I had it downloaded. I was ready to play it. I wanted to play it. And Chrissy even played a tiny bit of it, but I never was able to get to it. But I would love to. So that's one. I think at this point I need to accept that I'm probably not going to play it myself, or at least not anytime soon. So maybe I want to watch someone else's playthrough. There are some channels that I like to watch that for like those kinds of long form playthroughs, but I'll have to go through and see if any of my friends recorded it. Go check out one of theirs. We are cleaning this sucker, y'all. Okay. Get that done. So I've talked about this, I think, in some other videos probably, but Chrissy and I were able to get away this last weekend. It was our anniversary, our first year of being married. And so we went up to Seattle, got a hotel up there, you know, went and did some shopping, we went to the aquarium, we had a nice dinner. We went to the cat cafe. Just so great. Just so great. We had a wonderful time. Really nice to get to, like, stop and focus on your person and kind of put life into perspective a little bit. You know, it's easy to get, like, especially nowadays with just like how everything's going in the world, and, you know, the economy's getting worse. So it's just like making ends meet and whatnot is tougher. Everybody's having to live a little leaner. You know, it can be hard, it can be easy to lose sight of things and, like, the important things, right? So it was nice to get away and to kind of, you know, make that time. It was also really interesting. We happened to be staying at the hotel that was the same hotel. I didn't realize this when we booked it. It was the same hotel that I stayed in the very first time I ever went to PAX. And so this was like the first year of Stumped. This may have even been before Stumped, actually. That's right, it was. That's right. It was before Stumped. And it was the very first time I ever went to PAX. I think it was like the year before we started Stumped. So it really would have been like 4 months, 5 months before we were like, hey, we should do this. And so... you know, there's a lot of nostalgia around that. There's a lot of just like a lot of memories, right? Walking around in that area, because it's an area that was like right next to the convention center where it was actually held. And so that was kind of fun, you know, just getting to do that. And we happened to be staying very close to some shops that Chrissy wanted to go to. And, you know, it was a very, very nice, pleasant weekend. And of course, you know, because it was our anniversary, you know, my dad gave us some money to have a really nice dinner, and Chrissy's mom gave us money to go and do some nice stuff. So it was like being able to really enjoy, you know. It was nice. What's going on over there? Wishy, I've just heard from Sonia the beam's gone because someone's stolen the merman's gems. Okay, I thought it might have been that. I thought it might have been the statue from the first game was the beam. Was causing the beam thing. I need to start calling my shots. That's like the second time today where I was like, oh, the volcano, the blah, blah, blah. Earlier, I wanted to mention the volcano when I was like, I know there's some wacky lore about this game. I wanted to be like something about a volcano, but I didn't say it. And then later on, I was like, oh, the volcano. And then now that just happened. And it's like, I did know. I did. I promise. I promise. I was going to say it earlier. It was the first thing I thought of. But then I was like, nah, I'm just silly. I don't know nothing. Gotta start calling my shots more. Gotta start doing it. Okay. Very cool. Oh, don't get stuck on there. Clean that door frame. What do we got? Oh, there we go. Was that the whole door? Cool. Oh, I think I see some dirt on there. Or is that just shine? Oh, that's just the shine. No, that's how clean it is. We're looking good. We're looking good. Did I spray down and get all that? I think I did. I'm looking like... Yeah, it looks like I did. Okay. I may end up having to go back up on the roof. I don't know if I missed anything. We went and did our like little look around, so I think we're good. Okay. I'm kind of doing like a top to bottom then around kind of situation here. I don't know what I'm doing. So that was fun. We went to the museum, or the aquarium, not the museum. There was a museum nearby that I wanted to go to called the Museum of Illusions. And it's like, it's all about like different, perceptual, you know, tricks and things and illusions. Lots of fun. I'll go there at some point because that's my kind of silliness right there. But we went to the aquarium, and the Seattle Aquarium is wild, y'all. Like, no pun intended. They've got sharks and things. They got a giant octopus. They got sea lions, or seals, not sea lions. They got harbor seals, which are huge. Sea otters, which are adorable. See, doesn't that look like it's dirty? Yeah, okay, so some of these are dirty. Okay. So then let's get out, like I can use this, right? Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, so it's like the frames are what are still dirty. Okay. So then let's go ahead and I'm going to switch to this guy. Get the soap out. I'm just going to kind of spray real easy like along these edges. Yeah, you'll see that it'll kind of stick to the parts that are dirty. But this is a nice little easy way to kind of cover everything, and then I can just spray it away with a wide one. I feel like it's really good for getting into the nooks and crannies. So, really cool stuff at the aquarium. They just built a new thing, like a whole new building, like just a little while ago. And so we were able to see all that stuff, which was really cool. Look at this, is actually pretty good for this. It does a good job of spraying into the corners. Okay. I do really want to see if I can get an extender for this. All right, are these all clean? That was looking good. How about you? Can I get you just like this? There we go. How's your door frame? Door frame's looking good. All right, let's. I need you to stay on this nozzle. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I keep forgetting what I'm talking about because I keep on getting distracted by the video game that I'm playing. That I guess is supposed to be the thing that I'm more focused on. So I guess that's okay. So, yeah, the aquarium was rad. Went to a couple of nice restaurants for food. Just, just a nice time, honestly, just hanging out. When you get older, I say, as I'm, nearing 40, being able to do that kind of stuff becomes less and less easy. I guess not always, not for everybody, but for me, for sure, and I think a lot of people post-pandemic, and then I guess us post-fire. The fire made it, yeah, that was a thing that we still yet to fully recover from, but that's fine. These are the times we live in. Everybody's struggling. We just got to all kind of work together to try and take care of everybody, take care of each other. We will weather the storm. Okay. Let me... I think I only have the one. Yeah, it's like I'm switching, but it's like there's no difference. Okay. Is there anything... Yeah, see, I should have used the soap. It's just easier that way. What am I missing? Alright, we're going for the soap. It's the way. Trying to think of what other games are... Like, there's tons of games coming out. Like, too much stuff coming out just in general, right? We got this game coming out this week, which I'm going to want to play a bunch of. I got Ball Pit last week. Clover Pit, been playing that too, right? Though I haven't been playing it because of all these other games that I've been playing. Next week for me, the big one that's coming out that I'm excited for is the Gunfire Reborn update, DLC that adds new characters and new zones. Like those DLCs, I was talking about this the other day with people, they justify them. They really make it so it's like, you feel like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's worth $15. You added so much content to the game that I think if you like the game a bunch, it feels like when you give them your money, you're getting a lot back for it. There are games that have gotten a lot of criticism for doing that in the wrong way, which is like a bunch of money for some really mediocre like cosmetics or, holding behind new mechanics while giving out a different free update. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that some studios have done that have gotten criticism for it. Like, I know that one big one is, big is maybe an exaggeration, but one is like the Trailmakers devs. They've released some DLCs that have, amongst the community, been very, like, criticized for being like, oh, wow, you're charging us this much for... the only new thing that we want is this one mechanic that you added, but then because you added all these cosmetics that you have to get, you charge X amount, that kind of thing. Stuff where people are like, this should have either been a free update, or you should have had more in it, or should have been cheaper, or, that kind of stuff. It's fair to criticize from time to time. And then, that studio got criticized quite a bit, and then now they've changed how they approach their DLC strategy, and it seems like it's been a lot better. There's another DLC for that coming up right around the corner as well that adds tank treads, which is something apparently that's been asked for a very long time. I'm new to this part of gaming, of the gaming community, so I don't fully know it all, but I am excited for that as well. But that's another thing to put on the list of all of the things that Price has to play. And I'm sure that y'all have a huge list of things that you think I should play as well. Flippin', I know that I need to check out Little Rocket Lab, which maybe I'll get to this week, because that's one that I have, I do have, I just haven't gotten around to playing it. But I know that that's one that a lot of y'all have said that I would dig. I think it's sort of an automation meets, like, I don't know if it's like Stardewy, but it definitely looks like it's got like a cute pixel art style, but it also has like, machine optimization, automation mechanics, which of course I'm always on board for. We know Price likes those kinds of games. So, maybe I'll check that out. It's just, there's so many games. There's just so many games. And I want to make sure I record that one because that's definitely one that I think a lot of y'all would like to see. Well, I mean, I know a lot of y'all would because you have told me. Okay, let's clean that off. Nice, got that. Got that, cool. And there's a little bit on the edge there. Gotta go all the way around that. I might need to bring over that thing. Okay, let me rotate. Just like in the previous game, it always starts on the wrong side. Huh! Extend. Can I reach? No, but I can probably reach with the other nozzle. Not close. You're strong. You're a tough one. Okay. And then red nozzle. Nice. Okay. Well, since I'm here, let's just go ahead and do this. Yeah, see, why does it always do it that way? Like the other way? Because I need to be able, like, I get that this area is pointed towards where I can move and stuff. It's like, I need to be able to get to there. You know, I don't want this thing in my way because sometimes I want to aim down here. Anyway. A little bit easier to do this from a distance. Although, the distance makes it so that I don't get as much power, but that's fine. Okay. So yeah, lots of games to look forward to. Oh, it's a Trilobite! They had mentioned the Trilobite Museum or whatever they called it when they were talking about what it's named. I didn't even notice that until just now, that Trilobite symbol. That's cool. They're cute. I think Trilobites are cute. Little Kabuto over there from Pokemon. That's Gen 1 fossil right there. That's Gen 1 fossil. Not the Helix fossil, but the other one, right? Dome fossil, maybe? Okay. Get all this. That's actually reaching pretty far up there. Nice! Because I can go up the stairs and get it from there, but it's going to reach this far. See, I think a lot of this for me is because of the higher quality pressure washer that I got. And these are finishing early because of how much of them I've already cleaned on the other sides. That's wild. Okay. Hitting Q just to see if any of that... Oh, yeah, that's right. We got this whole zone over here that I need to clean. I think I've... Maybe that's the last bit I got to do. It might be. Let's rotate you there. Yep. Yeah, this may be the last little bit I got to do. Just do a quick pass from over here. Okay. I'm trying to think, what horror movie do I want to watch tonight? Other than I'll probably knock through one of the Puppet Masters. It's funny, because the Puppet Master movies, I was mentioning this on stream the other day, because, you know, it's what I'm watching, so it's what I'm talking about. The third Puppet Master movie jumps back in time and is essentially a World War II movie. But, I mean, not like a war movie, though, but, like, it takes place during that time, and it's about, like, you know, the guy who makes the puppets is living in occupied Germany, or I think occupied France. But it's a whole thing that, like, just not where you would think a movie series like that would go. And then becomes incredibly important for the narrative going forward. It's the origin story, essentially, I guess, of the series. It does drastically change how things end up playing out from there. It's pretty funny, in my opinion. But beyond that, I'm just trying to run through my head. What are some things that I've got in my queue? There's one that's in my queue right now. I think it's pretty new. I think it might be a Shudder original called Bloat. And it seems like it's about, like, a military dad who's doing, like, a computer, like a FaceTime kind of deal, a Zoom call kind of deal. And so it's one of those ones like Unfriended, where it's told entirely from the perspective of, like, someone's laptop. I love stuff like that. That's in that same found footage zone, and I love it. I don't know what it is about that genre, the found footage genre and whatnot like that, that is so compelling to me. But it is. It is. I think just if you were a kid who made movies when you were younger, you know, if you were fortunate enough to have access to a camcorder, then if you were one to like go and make movies and stuff, then maybe that's why, because I did, and that was definitely a really fun time. One of my fondest memories is doing all that stuff with my friends. So maybe that's part of it. My friend's family had a camcorder, so we would go and film stuff out in the woods, because we also lived like basically in a forest. Like legit, my backyard was a national park, or a state park. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But that was also just a lot of fun, just being around greenery all the time. And then just the forest, the sounds of the forest. Also, the sounds of everybody who decided to jog in the forest every day. You know, pluses and minuses. Okay. I am a woodland creature myself. Spray. Okay. Get all this done. I can customize the color of my van, actually, I realize. Haven't done that yet. I think you unlock more, like, access to more potential customizations as this game goes along. Because right now, the only ones I have are, my suit is green. And, like, there's basic colors that you can get for the car. There's basic colors that you can get for each of the components of your suit, which is, like, mask, suit, gloves, and shoes. Or boots. And yeah, right now it's only like 4 basic colors. So I'm curious when and how that's going to change. Is it going to be based on, well, as the DLC progresses? Is there going to be like seasonal type things? Or like as we go through the campaign, are we going to unlock more? I certainly hope we do. Because only basic color is a little frustrating, I'd say. If that's where it goes. Is that good? Is that clean? Must be. Right, stand up. All right. We're getting there, y'all. 95%. Gosh, I love these games. Actually, you know what? Because I know that the metal is going to be tough to deal with. We're going to go ahead and just soap this one. So yeah, really trying to get into the holiday spirit. Like I've said, and like everybody knows, you know, times right now, it's hard to get super motivated about a lot of things, but it's also important to do so in order to make sure that you're like rested and whatnot properly. So yeah, trying to get back into it. The other day I also watched Trick or Treat. It's Trick or Treat, but it's like Trick or Treat. Classic horror anthology movie. A little campy. There's a lot of people in it that you'd recognize from like the I think it's from like 2007 or something like that, or 2006. So a lot of actors and actresses that you'd recognize, but like none of them are like huge names, except for like I think like Brian Cox is in there, but definitely people you'd recognize. And it's campy and silly. It's also like got lots of good stories to it, and it's got a really iconic character in this little guy named Sam, who is sort of like, I would call him like a trick-or-treat demon, is like the only thing I can imagine. He's like a little guy in a suit where his mask is like a burlap sack with button eyes and stuff, and you know, he's like a little kid, and he's, you know, little guy who's gonna come and kill you. If essentially it seems like, because they don't like explain it, it's kind of nice, like they don't really give you a ton, you just kind of infer. It seems like if you don't have a jack-o'-lantern that's lit in order to keep the bad spirits away, right? That's one thing. But if you don't give him candy, I believe, then he takes you out. I think that's what it is. He just loves his candy. So really, really fun character, really iconic design and whatnot. A lot of people who are in the horror space know exactly who I'm talking about and have seen that design. You may have even seen the design, if you're not a horror fan, just like on lists of horror characters, best monsters, things like that. Because he's really one that has like kind of gained a lot of notoriety and attention, I think, over the years, which is great. Because I love just there being more iconic horror characters and whatnot. Like, even though I don't like the movies, I really like Art the Clown from Terrifier as like a horror character. I think he's cool. I'm cool with the idea of people like, you know, doing the whole like, oh, let's do Art the Clown versus Pennywise, you know, who would win, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. I'm totally down. I'm totally down. Don't care for the movie. Any of them. Not my thing. Yeah, this was just tricky to work with, y'all. This little thing. Because I can just swap on over to this guy. And even when I'm up here, I can just even do this, right? And it's like, boom, done, because the soap does the work for you. But maybe it's because I have a powerful thing, right? I can totally accept that might be wise, because I have a level 2 pressure washer with this thing. Okay, cleaning that up. So yeah, I would suggest, you know, go check out Trick or Treat if you never have. It's a fun one. If you're looking for like a horror anthology type thing. Horror anthologies, I think, are a lot of fun to watch around this time because it's just a bunch of horror stories, right? It's like you're doing like campfire stories and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So I would totally suggest that one if you're looking for anthologies. The VHS movies are pretty great if you're looking for an anthology type thing. Those are like all found footage style. And so obviously hits what I'm looking for generally, but also just really fun. Lot of really good ones in there if you want to check out that series. I find the first one a little difficult to watch just because of camera quality and whatnot. There's one chunk in particular that is like very hard to watch because it feels like it drops into like 10 frames a second at points because it's like filmed through spyglasses. So that kind of stuff. What are we looking for now? Central feature wall. Okay, there's a couple of things. Looks like on the... Oh, wait. This guy. Underneath, probably. Yep. Oh, I didn't clean off the soap on you? Shoot. So yeah, I would suggest most of them are good. I think VHS 94 is probably the best one. 99 is pretty good. I think there's 99. 89, I know. I think was pretty good. I didn't love what I think is the third one, which is VHS Viral. Didn't love that one. Just if I'm remembering, like, cause I can't fully remember, all of them. That's a series that I need to rewatch. Just that first one is so hard to get past. Oh. Nice. Center feature wall. Second floor pilaster. Pilaster. Oh, let's clean this off. Okay. Oh. Pilaster. That's such an interesting word. I don't know that I've heard that before. But like a pillar slash banister? Is that kind of the idea here? Okay. Let's see if I can't just... I don't want to have to get back up there since I can't really reach it from here, but I guess we'll do that. Ugh. There we go. And the path. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could use some attention. And more of the path. Alright, job complete. New item available in the shop. Let's go check it out. Let's watch our little thing. Starting at the top. We're peeling this onion. I kind of like that. I did the little loop around, and then I went to the bottom, and we looped around the bottom. Then made our way back up into the bucket. Cool. Let's go to home base. We made some money. How much did I make? Like 1,100? All right, 1020. Let's look at what is available in our shop. Any new outfits? No new outfits. This is what you can do for outfits. Any new colors? No colors. Any new furnitures? That's new. Change the color of my van. Any of you new? No. Okay, so with $1,000 dues though. So this is my really nice, powerful Prime Vista. Oh, you cost 1,200. So you're just about. You can sell components to things. So I could sell a piece of something else and then do this. I can't sell the furniture, can I? Can I sell you? No. No, only purchase, no sell. But I can also think about what nozzles. The adaptable nozzle, a special nozzle that can be fine-tuned to the precise pressure desired relative to its area of effect. The adaptable nozzle. The turbo nozzle. Short extension. The extra long extension. That could be nice. 500. I also like the idea of trying out this adaptive nozzle. I'm very curious about that. I'm going to try that out. I haven't had issues with extension, so this is more like convenience-based. I don't think I care that much about this one. It's all about surface area, but I find it difficult to use just with the way that it does like the automatic like extend and retract thing. It just feels to me like that. Wherever the reticle is going and however far this thing can reach, it's like you have to look straight down or be very close to whatever it is that you're trying to reach. It's just it's difficult to understand. Maybe with the extender and that it would be worth it. But with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to end the run there. Let's say goodbye to our pet Bubbles. Let's say goodbye to Ulysses. Oh, they're so cute. And let's say goodbye to Squeak. Yeah, Squeak. Look at you. Look at this little guy. Oh my gosh. Squeak. Look at you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, the way he plays. It's incredible. Anyway, y'all, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, of course, let me know down below. If you want to see more, let me know in those comments. I enjoy the game. It definitely is one where it's just like, I need like a topic. I got to do like psych talks during this or something, because my goodness. It is Zen Podcast Central. So do let me know if you want to see some more, and I will perhaps oblige. And yeah, with that though, like, comment, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Most importantly, have a wonderful rest of your day. I've been Price, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.